Hi, Jamie Davis here from EMS Today 2015, and one of the best things that I look forward to each year in EMS is the opportunity to come here and talk with the EMS 10 awardees. And I've got one of them here with me today who's actually a good friend of mine. We've actually talked with him on the shows that I do in the past, and I'm really excited. Antevy, Dr. Peter Antevy, you have been recognized for the Antevy pediatric dosing system, and I just want to congratulate you. We talked about this, and we've interviewed each other to talk to you about this many times, but you finally got recognized by received your EMS 10 award, so congratulations first of all.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Jamie.
For people that don't know, explain to them what is the dosing system that you came up with, and what makes it so special and worthy of this award.
Thank you. I guess I'll start with what people currently do. Is we've been told for years to take a length-based tape and spread it out as you get to the scene. Mom and dad are watching you, kids there, and then so you're basically kind of showing your hand that you're kind of coming in unprepared. At least it gives the impression of coming in unprepared. Then once you get the dose in milligrams, you have to calculate them to milliliters. As an example, dextrose, 10.5 grams of D25. Find one person who can figure that out quickly. So you end up with a whole new set of problems once you get to the scene. So I didn't think it felt good for me in the emergency department, and for years I had a problem with that. And then when I started riding on the ambulances and seeing what our guys were doing in front of mom and dad at the poolside or at the bedside, I realized they had the same problems I had. And so our system takes away the need for measuring people, although we do offer that option, okay? But we have an age-based system. So with an age-based system, think about it, you can hear 3-year-old in cardiac arrest, and en route you say, okay, 3-year-old, 15 kilos, the epidose is 1.5 cc's. You talk to your partner, it's what we teach, you talk to your partner, you'll be engaging the mom and the child, I'll do the medications, and now you walk off the truck and you have that air about you that, hey, I'm here to help and I will help, and then everything is seamless. And so from a paramedic perspective, they kind of feel present for the pediatric arrest as if they were in an adult arrest, because they feel really good about that.
Yeah, and that's something, we practice our adult mega codes over and over and over and over again, but we don't practice those pediatric things because they're few and far between. But when they happen, they very much need our attention to be completely present in the event as it occurs and not be unprepared, like you said. So this is requiring, it's not magic dust, it's not going to be an ultimate fix. There's going to be some education, there's going to be some things people need to adjust in their thinking, but it's a good system because it's simple.
Yeah, I think that the paramedics, we've been told for many years, Jamie, that pediatric advanced life support and ACLS are two different things. But if you think about it, they're really the same exact thing.
That's always bothered me, by the way. I always thought, it seems like, I know we don't treat kids like small adults.
Oh, I do.
But in some cases, especially for these types of resuscitation events, you absolutely do. It's just different doses.
I have no problem saying, now that I'm becoming an EMSer, I spend 80% of my day now as an EMS medical director, I will say that if you're a paramedic out there, or even by an adult emergency room doctor, you should treat a kid like a little adult, because their cardiac arrest, if you look at the algorithms, are the same, okay? When you get off scene, it's still, bagging if you have to, chest compressions, maybe drilling their bones, giving them some epi, giving amiodarone. It's the same exact thing. For asthma, we give epi, we give albuterol, we give magnesium. Sound familiar? It's the same.
Yeah.
So we are finally taking that perception of pediatrics, and we're kind of we're getting people, we're taking entire agencies and making them feel very differently about pediatrics. But for me, the most important thing are the outcomes. And we just got some outcomes that reported back to me from Polk County, Florida, who's been using our system. They had, in the year of 2013, they had a 6% ROSC rate, and of those, 0% walked out of the hospital, okay? He just sent me his data. 36% ROSC rate, and of those, 77% of those walked out of the hospital.
That's amazing.
And this is not in a major big city. We have big cities using our product, and now they're collecting data, but to see data like this coming back, and we're going to get Miami-Dade's data, and we're going to be doing Denver and Honolulu and big agencies. I hope to be sitting here next year to report that we've made a significant improvement in pediatric outcomes. I mean, that's what I think my mission in this life is to do.
Oh, I think so, and I think people should understand that you are all about the data. I mean,
yep.
You put this system in place, but you've also been actively studying its effects. Like you said, you know the data, and you're waiting for more data to come in. And what do you expect? Is there anything you think might change, or anything that you might adjust based upon the data that you're starting to see come in, or does it look like it's all heading in the right direction?
You know, it's heading in the right direction, but what has to be adjusted is how people kind of operate on scene, if you will. And people need to stay on scene to treat even, I mean, listen, there are simple things that really you don't have to stay on scene for, but then there are the things that if you don't fix them right now, you're not going to have a good outcome. And so I would like to see a major shift towards people staying on scene when they have to, because you could wait an extra 2 or 3 minutes, Jamie, and the outcome is different. We had a kid named Alejandro. He fell into a pool, and the paramedic, her name was Tammy Napoles, was on scene, and she decided, I'm going to do this right here. They used our educational system, but they talked about it before they got there. They got on scene, and they got him back. They got a ROSC. Now, he ended up being in a coma for 9 days and the whole thing, but if she wouldn't have spent those couple of minutes on scene, those 2 or 3 extra minutes, he would have been alive, but with a G-tube and a trach, and mom at home with a $250,000 insurance bill every year. This kid is running around playing soccer again.
That's great.
So those couple of minutes are really critical, and I think that I would like to see people kind of move towards that understanding. That would make me feel very happy.
And it's about confidence level, really,
it is.
Peter. I mean, I think we're confident enough to stay on the scene and work that adult arrest, but we're not always confident enough to do the same thing with the pediatric patients, even though we probably should, as you say. But your system gives us that confidence to begin doing that, and you also talk about some other things, is talking to each other as a partner with your team, going in, what are we going to do? You're going to handle this, I'm going to handle that, assigning tasks and duties, which ACLS has been saying do for adults. We need to be doing the same types of things and be prepared for what we're going to approach and see as for our pediatric patients too.
Well, I'm really glad you mentioned that. In my lecture tomorrow, I'll be talking about my pediatric pit crew approach. It adds in one very specific thing, which is the pre-arrival discussion. So you and your partner are driving to the scene, and you have that discussion, and we kind of just we'll script you a little bit and teach you how to do that. It makes a huge difference in the ability to stay on scene. I've said this before, but the decision of whether or not you'll stay on scene happens before you get to the scene.
Yeah.
And so we now understand that, and for me that was a huge light switch to turn on, to say they're making the decision to leave before they even get there. So how do we change that? And now we're doing that. So it's really exciting stuff. So
where can people find out more about your system and what you've been doing and some of the other organizations and agencies that are using it?
Thanks. Yeah, you can go to our www.antevy.com. I'm on Twitter, Antevy. I'm on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook, all that type of thing. But hopefully, I think that once we start bringing in some of the data and linking up with some people out there who are really big data people, I think that we're going to take this to the next level, and I'm really excited about it.
Fantastic. Well, Dr. Peter Antevy, thank you, and congratulations again on your EMS 10 award.
Thank you.
One last question before we close out here. Why do you think it's important for EMS to have something like an EMS 10 Innovators Awards? What does it mean for the whole of EMS to recognize people like yourself and paramedics? It's not just the doctors we're recognizing, but anybody who's innovating.
Right.
Why that's important?
I tell you what, normally I like to shy away from the recognition and so forth, but it's very interesting that here I am, I'm a physician, and now I'm an EMSer, I'm a medical director, and I have a lot of colleagues who look at me and say, okay, you're an academic kind of guy, and then when you develop a product, Jamie, and you kind of go to the other side, it's very difficult. At least it was difficult for me, because I'm really like an academic person who wants to do the data. When you get an EMS 10 award and your colleagues are essentially telling you, hey, you know what you're doing is really good, and we approve of it and we appreciate it, that really meant more to me than the award itself. Because it's really that, hey, maybe I have done something that the medical community is embracing, and so for me, that's why this is special.
Fantastic. Well, I want to thank you for joining me, and I want to thank all of you. Remember, you can find more of these segments over at emstoday.com and over at gems.com, and we'll have more of the EMS 10 awardees coming up for you here in just a little bit.